Hey, everybody. Well, here we are for another edition of Trek Reluctantly. And tonight, we will be watching the second episode of Firefly, which is titled The Train Job. So, those of you who are watching along with us, which is hopefully all of you, otherwise, I really don't get how this makes any sense.
Well,
But
keep in mind they do, as somebody pointed out in chat, they do reintroduce all the characters since this was the episode that aired first. So if you're just getting caught up with us now, I guess it's not too bad.
no, but I mean, if they're going to watch along with us, tonight, I was going to say make sure you have the episode queued up
Oh yeah, the
on
correct
on
one.
on
Because
your
if you're
end.
watching a different one, then the discussion's maybe not going to make a whole lot of
It
sense.
might not be quite as relevant to to what you're seeing as we are. So yeah, so we're going to be watching episode 2 of Firefly, The Train Job. I'm watching it on Hulu. Dana is watching her own digital copy on Plex at her place. So we're both watching it on different platforms. So wherever you happen to have it or watch or whatever, just queue it up. We're going to start right at the very beginning. And as usual, when we get to commercial breaks, I'll give us a countdown. I'll go 3, 2, 1, pause, and we'll take a couple of minutes and talk about what just happened. And then we'll get back into it. And I'll give you another count in 3, 2, 1, play. And that's how we'll do it, because that's how we've done it up to this point, and it's worked just fine, hasn't it, Dana?
As far as I can tell. You're the YouTuber. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's a thing.
So, shall we go ahead and get started?
Yes,
Shall we? Let's do it. Everybody watching live. By the way, hi everybody in the live chat. I didn't say hi to everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining us, and to everybody watching after the show is over, because it works the same way whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching the recorded version. It's all the same. You just follow our cues and start and stop when we ask you to, and we should be in good shape. So
not quite the same, because if you guys get to be here for the live stream, then we
get to interact.
It's just so much more fun.
It is. The people who watch
think, anyway.
The people who watch it later are just losers.
Okay, so Dear Ultra Trekkie.
No, I kid.
Dear Ultra Trekkie, that is a more involved question. That's gonna hold up the video.
Yeah, Dana can't go into detail about that right now.
Oh my God, it's been. I'm a teacher at the end of the term, and it's 2020.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it there for now, because.
Yeah. It's
oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay,
ready?
I'm so glad you're here. No opinions no one cares about. It's not just bad. It was bad. It's just up and down. I'll tell you more later. Anyway,
if we have time.
If we have time.
Okay, everybody.
All right, you ready?
We're ready. Get ready to. I'm Dana. I'm ready.
Okay.
Here we go. Everybody, I'm going to count us down from 3, and we'll start. 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, that's nice. Our premise.
Living on the edge.
I just got passed a note in class.
We are conflating our Eastern cultures here. It's Eastern.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's how they do things over there.
That direction. Which way is east? Her name, East.
Oh, it's Toastmasters tonight. I forgot.
You forgot? I got it. Mm. I think he's already had a few drinks to the alliance. Yes, yeah.
Just an idea. Yeah, maybe.
Sail! Dun 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 dun.
Anybody want another one while I'm up? Hello, friend.
Making friends. Oh, I love this. It's so good. Ah, 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 ah. Ta-da-da! Zoe!
Rude.
Buena suerte. Joe, are you so sure about that? Ah. Oh, Gregory, thanks for joining us.
Matthew, we're about 4.5 minutes.
Hey, beat me to it.
Sorry.
Bye, friends. Jane's laugh. God, I love it. Another.
Bye.
Noticing patterns. That's so demented. Did you see the drop?
I think you're a little bit ahead of me.
I'm at the spaceship, like going by the moon.
Yeah, I think you're ahead of me.
Oh, for God's sake.
It's okay. We'll sync back up at the commercial or something.
Like now? So it's singing to me now.
Yeah, you're way ahead. How'd you get way ahead? We started at exactly the same time.
Let me know when they start singing.
Okay.
Jesus. Well, shit.
And they're singing.
Jesus. So Corey says that my copy doesn't have the recap ad.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, yeah.
You missed the
and uploaded it to Plex.
There you go.
Okay,
Well, that's why.
Okay, so I'm pausing right after the singing.
Right after the singing.
So after that, it should sync up.
Yeah. So do you want me to tell you when the singing's over?
Well, I want you to pause it when the singing's over, genius.
Okay.
You don't have to tell me, just pause. I'm paused.
My goodness. All right, everybody get ready to pause after the credits.
Because I had no idea. I was like, am I watching it like a teeny tiny bit sped up or something? Like, nothing. Well, Richard, you're welcome to join us or not, as the case may be. Okay, so I don't have coronavirus.
Okay, everybody, 3, 2, 1, pause. Except for Dana, everybody but Dana, who's already paused. And I paused at, and I guess it'll be different for you, Dana, because you didn't have the recap. But for everybody watching the version with the recap at the beginning, I'm at 7 minutes and 23 seconds in is when I paused.
How much time do you have left?
35:58 left. 35:58 remaining.
Mine's probably counting the credits because I've got 44 minutes.
Interesting.
So don't go by me. Go by.
Well, mine's counting the credits too, though. I don't know. Well, whatever. Yeah, 35:58 remaining. Yeah. So, yeah. God, everybody, it's not a Western without a bar fight, I guess.
I love Jane's laugh as he's walking into the ship.
Yeah.
Did you see the drop?
No, I don't think I did.
It was the belly dancer at the beginning.
Oh no, I did. Oh, when she passed him the note. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Passed him a note, and at the end of the scene, he's like, "We got a job," and that's the note.
Yeah. What's funny is when you unfold it and read it, it actually says, "Do you like me? Check yes or no. No maybes."
Why would anybody hand that to Mal? God. I guess there's no accounting for taste.
He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, but in that case, you don't ask if they like you.
You don't.
No.
Don't you want to figure that out before you know?
Before you what? Steve?
Before you invest, more time in this pursuit.
And what pursuit would that be?
The pursuit of Mal.
Depends on what you want from
going the extra mile.
No,
not good.
No,
you're not going to give me that one.
No,
okay.
Goodness knows I don't want any extra mile. That's for sure. You're ultra tricky. It depends on what brings you happiness.
It depends on happiness. What you mean by happiness? Okay, so not a whole lot has happened yet, so we don't need to dawdle too long. But
well, I mean, it does establish. It does a good job of, as far as it having been. Oh, cayenne pepper!
My goodness.
I know. I'm getting for all those of you who are familiar with the series, I'm getting husband stew tonight. Jambalaya. And so now the
spice bomb.
Yeah, the spice bomb's in there. I'm gonna be fortunately I've got the nice tissues that have coconut oil in them. So I'll probably eat snotty here in a little bit.
How luxurious.
I know. Yeah, but when I'm at school, I have to use the government supplied stuff. So,
those cheap government tissues.
No, honey, it's
a paper towel.
not that desperate. It's an extra roll of toilet paper.
An extra roll of toilet paper. Why? Yes. Why do we need to buy tissues and toilet paper? It's the same stuff, basically.
We used to be able to get tissues. We used to be able to order them, but that stopped, not because of COVID. That stopped years ago. They said teachers are not allowed to order from janitorial supplies anymore. It's like, well, darn. So
what, you need to make friends with one of the maintenance staff and be like, can you hook me up with some tissues maybe?
No, I don't.
Got to have connections.
No, I just need to, we're running the fan, but we can't actually open the door because the cats will run out. Or the cats will act like maybe they're going to run out. And if they did, that would be really bad because they don't know what the heck they're doing outside.
They would be instantly lost.
Was there anything that
a-
you wanted to discuss? Come on, you're a crappy reactor here.
I just, my God, sorry.
This is what everybody's here to see is me ragging on you. You know.
I know that's the hook. I think we've discovered that's the hook of the show. I'm a bit uncomfortable with the parallel between the heroes and the Confederates, but I guess I'm just going to have to deal with that. Like that's just sort of going to be that.
Fun was I think the wordplay is, some of it is because they're the ones that lost,
and
and also you know that the fact that the ship literally rises behind them.
And as a writer, I understand the temptation to do that joke. You know, because it's not a bad.
That's part of the problem with. I think that's part of why Whedon's so problematic. Is like he's like, oh, this would be totally cool, and like ignores the problems with it.
I can relate to that impulse because I also have, as I think you know from us writing together, like I also kind of have a go for the joke mentality. You know, where if I think of like a good line, I'm like, oh, I got to use that, and. It's not like, but
it's usually enough for you to share it with me, and then you're like, yeah, but we're not gonna keep it in the story.
Well, or
have the impulse to share it,
or I put it in the story, and you're like, I don't think that works, and then we take it out, and it's not a problem. But
I do that with a lot of your stuff that doesn't work. I mean, I do that with all of your stuff that doesn't work.
Yeah, not just the joke, not just joke stuff, but so I'm.
Writing.
It's just like I say, it's not. I don't think it's going to be like a major. It's not going to stop me from enjoying the show. But but lines like that.
It pulls. There are things like that, and for me, it happens with his stuff on a regular basis. It's like, oh, this is the thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But I have my copy of How to Read Literature Like Professor.
And
that's literally one of the things that he's talking about is that, so right here, memory, symbol, pattern. These are the three items that more than any other separate the professorial reader from the rest of the crowd. Whenever I encounter a new work, I spin the mental Rolodex looking for correspondence and corollaries. I can't not do it, although there are plenty of times when that ability is not something I want to exercise. 30 minutes into Clint Eastwood's Pale Rider, 1985, for instance, I thought, oh, this is Shane, 1953. And from there, I didn't watch another frame of the movie without seeing Alan Ladd's face. So, that sense of being pulled out of the story by things is not, it's something that kind of comes with experience. Noticing.
Well, and the nice part about watching it in this format is, because we are stopping regularly to talk about it, I'm pulled out of it just anyway. So when we start watching it again here in a second, I'm going to be back into it. Like, I'm not going to be thinking about like, oh God, why do you have to make that goddamn South will rise again joke? You know what I mean? Like I'll be waiting for the train to show up, because that's the other thing. I'm promised by the title of this that there will be a train in this episode, and God damn it, I want to see the train.
You want to see the train, Steve?
I want to see the train, Dana.
Okay. Well, then why don't we start the show back
up? Let's start watching, because I want to get to that, because I do love me a good train.
You love you a good train.
I love me a good train.
Well, one day you should come down to Chattanooga.
The Chattanooga Choo Choo?
Dude, the Choo Choo is now a hotel. You can stay in a train car.
I want to stay in the Chattanooga Choo Choo.
Well, it's pretty awesome. It's an awesome place.
Corey, by the way, they do not call me Amtrak Steve. Amtrak is Joe Biden's gimmick, and I would not infringe on the gimmick of the next president of the United States. All right, everybody ready?
Joe, I'm very curious how you know that.
Train job is just a fancy sex act.
It's fancy.
It's not just a sex thing, because everybody knows running the train. That's like a filthy, filthy sex term. It's filthy. But a train job is a fancy sex act? Like for fancy people? Or fancy because it's involved?
They're all tricky. You'll have to sing that for us sometime. I would have to do like 2 or 3 passes to get that with the melody. All right. I'm ready.
Everybody, I'm ready. Everybody get ready to start playing again. I will count us in from 3, and 3, 2, 1, play.
Okay, so I'm at a pan over the ship.
Okay, yeah. And now you're in sick bay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay.
then
Yeah, and her flashback thing, her alien abduction experience.
shh, shh. No, duh. It's what they did to her. There's
Okay,
other.
I'm back. Yeah, but you know, it's like an alien abduction experience. That's why I'm crying.
Yeah, I think they.
Oh, I like the drop tile ceiling in the sick bay. See, it's like the ceiling in a doctor's office. It's nice.
Because it's a doctor's office.
Yeah. I wrote it down.
I have it on my hand here.
It's a piece of.
Yes, but they're also trying to use it of you singing the song. No, you're here because you didn't want the alliance on you. I have a problem with her saying that because it's so obvious.
I know. It's like we get it. You don't need to underline it.
Well, not only that, like she points out like the really esoteric stuff, but
Uh was that sarcasm?
was that sarcasm? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
What perfectly legitimate business enterprises?
It's 100% legitimate.
Oh, have you seen The Sting?
Yeah, we watched it together back
Yeah, you
once upon a
remember
time. Yeah.
Luther?
Yeah.
It ain't fancy, but it's mostly legal. Bless Luther. I love Luther.
Oh, that's probably racist.
Got it.
Unless he pays the fare.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But God don't pay no fare. Everybody knows.
Oh, well, he ought to. He's got enough money. Always begging for
Yeah,
it.
but he doesn't have to. I love Kaylee is just Kaylee and Inara have a great interplay. That doesn't matter for God's sake, Inara. Oh, come on, Steve. There's plenty of male fashion here. Hey, Mal, piss off. Oh, look, and he doesn't listen either or care about what she actually said.
As a matter of fact, smartass, there were monkeys. Speaking in Chinese.
Hey, Antonio. Hopefully you've missed something interesting, but hopefully there'll be more interesting things to come. We're watching Firefly together. Woohoo! Bye, dear Ultra Trekkie.
Bye, Dorota Trekkie.
Mal is an asshole.
Is he just like
Don't
touring?
start. He's already started, girl.
He's like touring.
God.
He's touring the ship and just picking fights with the various people on it. Like, who haven't I flipped shit yet today?
Jane or Zoe. Zoe will just punch him right in the face.
Yeah.
No, she wouldn't actually. She should. God, she should. Yes. Niska. Oh yes, he's being, all protective and, possessive, and yeah, that's gentleman. Are you paying? Because I don't like you. Kaylee gets freebies because Kaylee doesn't suck.
Because she's not the jerk ass hero.
Dun dun dun.
He looks nice.
Oh, he's fun. We get to see him again.
He's my favorite MST3K puppet, yeah. It's a nice lamp.
It is.
It's a very nice lamp. Tiffany
style, at least. I mean, you can't get close enough to see if it's a real thing. But I mean, this is
you can't read the manufacturer's mark on the bottom of it. But
or just to look at it and see the actual style of the glass. But I mean, Niska's rich, so it's probably a thing. You have a reputation.
Gossip.
God, I love Niska. Dun dun dun.
Oh, that's not good.
See? This is what happens. He's solid. Joe, come on, use your imagination.
Suspension of disbelief, buddy. Thanks, Antonio. See you.
Uh-huh.
Well, the two aren't mutually exclusive.
Never going to hear end of this. Holidays, very much a problem.
Oh. Thank goodness we do virtual Thanksgiving this year.
I can mute people so much better.
Oh, my mom's from Hancock. Oh. Sweet.
Look.
The train. Ooh, and it's a monorail.
It is?
I thought it was.
It's a
Yeah,
levitated train, but it's not a monorail. I mean, it's not.
there's a single rail.
Was it?
Yeah, I thought so.
You were paying attention.
I just happened to see monorail, 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 monorail.
Yeah, Corey, that's what I'm thinking. Or some form of levitation.
Yeah, it's a fancy space train.
Of course, Darren, because it's the future.
It's a space train.
It's
hey,
not in space. It's on the planet.
But it's on. Okay. Oh shit! We wandered into Starship Troopers. Okay, 3, 2, 1, pause. So I'm paused at 18:13 in, 25:08 remaining.
Don't listen to me, folks. I'm not going to give you.
Dana is watching a pirated bootleg copy with
It is
a
not
different time code.
Legitimate purchase.
I'm kidding. I'm
not
kidding.
that I'm against piracy, but
I'm kidding.
I just think it's important to be accurate.
Yes. So I have seen the train. I think I'm good.
So we're done.
We can just stop watching. I've seen the train. Do you think? Obviously, I think you don't really. You are not amused. It doesn't seem like by Mal's jerkassery.
I want to punch him in the face.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't mind jerkassery, but what I object to is the reason for his jerkassery. Like he doesn't. Well, I mean, first of all, not keen on the slut shaming.
No.
Not keen on the marginalization of sex work. Not really. I've never really understood the jealousy thing. Just don't get it.
Well, that's one of the things that makes you exceptional.
Yeah, I guess. Random geek. Yeah, that was something that I was wondering about. What do you think of Adelaide Niska?
Nishka? I mean, he seems potentially interesting. I was actually when that normative, we are paused right now. I'm paused at 18 minutes and 13 seconds in.
Yeah, I'm like reaching for it. Like, nope, don't say anything.
Which is also 25 minutes and 8 seconds to go, and it's right after the second commercial break. We're about to get back into it, but yeah. So the thing I thought about with Nishka was like on TV shows that they produce, like in Eastern Europe, what accent do they use as a shorthand for villainy? Because here in the West, like anytime you see someone talking with like a Russian accent, it's like, oh, I bet he's going to turn out to be a bad guy, because it's just to our ear, I guess, after 70 years of Cold War propaganda, like it just automatically reads as sinister and suspicious and dangerous, when he talks like this, you do train job for me. And it's like, oh, he's not a good guy. And that's not right. Like it's prejudicial, but that's sort of the assumption that we have after decades of popular culture telling us that people with that accent are the bad guys. I just wonder what do people talk with like Midwestern American accents?
We meet Crow before we meet Niska.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh, Joe, I very much read it as Russian.
Me too. I thought it was totally Russian.
Who said, yeah, Random Geek mentioned Milton Friedman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just anti-communist propaganda. I think there's also some anti-Semitic stereotyping there as well.
Could be, yeah. I mean, wouldn't.
Because you can. There's also the connection to organized crime.
Yeah, right. He's obviously a gangster.
He's what?
He's obviously like a gangster or something. I mean, he has a solid reputation.
Just a really rich person who wants. I mean, it's not necessarily the case, but the fact that the person who is hanging there is my wife's nephew.
Yeah.
At dinner, I am getting earful.
Yeah.
Just another broken nerve. Did you look that up?
That's cool. Thank you, just another broke nerd, for figuring out that apparently that is a real Tiffany lamp on Niska's desk.
Um, I
Cool.
don't know that I approve of that. I mean, they could have spent the money. I don't know. I don't know.
Welcome to
I'm being
Antiques
silly.
Roadshow.
But yeah, I think there's some. I mean, it plays into that, the anti-Semitic stereotyping.
Yeah.
So, not real keen on that. But Niska as a character, the I like practical characters. He's very practical. He
Yeah.
says, these are my expectations. Now for you, my reputation is not gossip. It's solid.
Yeah.
It's fact.
Yeah.
You know, now you da 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 da.
Now you know.
So I like that about it. He is one of the characters that I really like. We have not yet met my favorite character, but he's up there. He's up there.
Well, and he's, because of the accent and because of the fact, and you know, his whole little spiel about, you know, now my reputation is solid, not rumor, and the guy hanging in his closet and all that stuff. Like he comes across very strongly as a villain, which I think is very important for a show, for the second episode of the show. You know, you want to give viewers of this brand new show something to kind of hang on to, and I feel like that's part of that. I think that's a smart move to, like, let's make sure that, you know,
there are some really bad people out there.
We draw it in boldly enough, you know, that people get it, and you know, without making it so obvious that it's cartoony.
It's more than that. It's I think I don't. It's not as overt as, you know, Fagin-esque, but I don't think it's coincidental. I mean, that's he reads to me as a mild stereotype of, you know, the Jewish banker.
Yeah, I can see that. That did not,
Matthew, not yet, because
when we get to that episode.
When we get to the episode, I will absolutely say this is the episode where we meet my favorite character, and you'll know when we get to that episode. You'll know.
I can't wait. I can hardly wait.
Oh, it's my favorite character. Some of you might be able to guess. So I do have problems with that. But it's difficult because I love Niska so much as a character, because he is so practical. And yet, I mean, he's not coldly practical. You know what I mean? You know, he talks about having a wife, and it's like, oh, it's going to be an issue at dinner, but you know, it's business. So I really like him as a character. So it makes it, you know, kind of a bummer that to me he reads as a stereotype. Tis what tis. Yeah. I have similar problems with some of the you know, Jewish stereotyping of another favorite villain of mine in Tangled. The mother Doll.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
And it's so unfortunate that they went there, because she's such amazing villain.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Yeah. A good enough character can, at least for some, I mean, it's all a matter of personal preference and personal taste, but I mean, a good enough character can transcend those problems, but it's a shame that they have to.
No,
it's, you know, like,
I don't think so, because I think you have to make the deliberate choice to say, ooh, that stereotype. What can we do to get this idea across in a way that does not perpetuate these stereotypes?
Oh, I'm not talking about necessarily as a writer. I'm saying just as an audience member, you know, like,
yeah.
I mean, as a writer, that's not an excuse.
Yes. Okay. No. But as an audience member, you can, it is possible to still enjoy and appreciate, you know, what makes the character intriguing, but also to question, you know, what about, you know, am I buying into it because of the stereotype? The Loneliest Monk, that's a good question, but no, I think it would still be stereotypical. I mean, because he's not that guy. I mean, there are gangsters from all cultures. Right. Another example, you know, essentially, I feel like he doesn't read quite as a mobster. Yeah, Harry, that's another one.
See, I think he does read as a mobster. As soon as, I mean, especially when he opens the closet and the guy's hanging there, I'm like, okay, he's a gangster. Like, to me, he read as gangster, like,
No, no, no. Well, okay.
very, 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 very quickly.
Pretty quickly. My big thing, he read for gangster when it turned out to be a relative. You know, it's the family business,
Yeah,
and
okay.
the family member who didn't follow through. Um, but
Don't ever go against the
you know,
family.
essentially the Russian mob and the Italian mob are two like major tropes, let's say,
Yeah.
in American storytelling. So I think it also plays into that. But the small, the wire framed glasses, the gray suit,
Hmm.
the very otherwise um ordinary demeanor, and also just, you know, all sort of goes together.
Yeah.
Did you have anything else? I mean, the big thing for me with this section is Niska, and then of
Uh,
course at the end we're on the train.
yeah. And, you know, and more train business, to come. Um, no, I don't have anything else. Not
Okay.
yet. So everybody, so once again, we're paused at 1813 in, which is also 2508 to go, and we're going to get started again and watch the next segment. So
Woohoo.
everybody get ready, and I'm going to count us in from three, three, two, one, play. I like how homey the ship is, and not all of it, but certain rooms. It has a very homey feel to it. Like that's like just somebody's
The
table.
dining room,
It's
yeah.
not like a space table. It's just a table.
Well, like the wood and the chair there, you
Yeah,
know, it's crafty.
yeah.
That's not what he asked.
He's unknowable.
What are we doing? Crime? Oh, crime.
Oh,
Okay.
I mean, you could help with the thieving if you really wanted. Yeah, exactly. Don't tell him, genius. Aw.
Ugh.
Hi, kids.
Hey, Charles. Congratulations. Tell us more about the interview in the chat, what you were interviewing for and what made it good. Oh, kitty. Hello, girl. Steve, you better tell him where we are, because if I tell him, he's going to be all kinds of confused.
Yes. We are about a little after 20 minutes in. Right now it's 20 minutes and 8, 9, 10 seconds.
Random Geek, you had me confused there for a moment. I was like, I'm picturing like monkeys. I was like, I don't remember
Jesus
that
throwing
part.
shit at the temple.
Like, I thought that was literal at first. I was
This
like,
is my father's house. It lands in like a centurion's face, splat.
now she's going to be praying for him to be dead. Nice.
Crime.
Yeah, I figured like a second later, I figured you were speaking like, you know, metaphorically, you know,
Metaphorically.
but that was just like, wait, I missed that part of the Bible.
Can I crime with you? How many vests did he bring with him?
Well, they fold up. They're silk, so they don't take up a whole lot of space.
Easily compacted. Clearly I am.
Gene is definitely a profiteer. I don't know if he's authoritarian. Shiny.
Gotta use a John.
Oh, good luck, Charles. Matthew, I think he's okay with authority as long as he's getting paid, too. Again, he's a profiteer. Deralter Trekky's back, Steve. Help him out. Where are we at?
Oh, okay. We are, I'm at just about 24 minutes in, 19 minutes and 20 seconds or so to go.
Harry, that's obvious from a few episodes ahead. The man they call me. Oh, look at them guns.
Yeah, take that, you bad man.
Opinions, things just don't go smooth. Why can't things ever go smooth? Charles, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. It's a really big horse, though. It's a really big horse.
Really, really big horse. But yeah, he says it does a great job of horses coming alongside the train's going, and they get on.
Yeah. This is convenient.
Uh-oh.
What a twist.
Bye, Dr. Nets Prophet. Oh, Charles, he says, oh no, the other shoe. Don't worry, Charles. There's lots of shoes.
Let's go ahead and just keep watching through this next segment.
Okay.
Yeah. So everybody, nobody pause. Everybody keep watching. Oh, they're in Star Wars again. Look.
Why? Because there's beeps.
Well, no, just the set design. Doesn't it look like Imperial Star Wars stuff?
That's how we know they're the bad guys.
And the uniforms.
Because they ain't dirty.
He's either an Imperial officer or the conductor on an old timey 19th century train.
See, it's the train job.
It's the train job, right? Get the train back on schedule. We're doing Willoughby.
Opinions no one cares about says that stealing the stuff is a bad idea. Well, it was Niska's idea, and Niska is not apparently a very nice man.
The gangster
he's very polite, but he's not nice.
The gangster who has his wife's nephew hanging in his closet is a bad guy.
It's interesting, it just occurs to me that it's his wife's nephew.
Yeah, he doesn't say my nephew.
Yeah. Ah.
Not a fan of poetry, huh? He's married to my wife.
Yeah, don't let Niska know that their liabilities are loose ends. Idea. Yes, opinions no one cares about. Some random geek does not make everything political, but finds the political in everything. It's already there.
Sir, honey.
Honey.
Let's walk and talk like a Sorkin show.
Steve Joe's asking for where we. Oh, thanks, Summer and Geek.
No, I'm over 21.
Minors, not minors, Steve. Jeez.
Did you ever watch the show?
Did you ever watch? No, you didn't. That's the problem.
That's true. I've never watched it. Named after Bolton, isn't it? Oh, man, it couldn't just be headache powder. He was the dad of one of Rory's boyfriends on Gilmore Girls.
You know more about Gilmore Girls than I do, Steve.
The rich one.
Again, you know more about. I know that Gilmore Girls is the TV show.
I can't think of the name. He was like I don't know, but anyway, he was the dad. He was one of the dads on Gilmore Girls.
Opinions no one.
Logan, yes, Matthew Turlin. He was Logan's dad. Yes, that's right. Boy, look at all the Gilmore Girls fans in the chat. Yes, he was Logan's dad.
Are you done?
It's like a newspaper magnate or something.
Opinions no one cares about. Yes, it's a gift and a curse. Thank you, dear Alter Trekkie. Me either.
It's a pretty good show for most of the run. It kind of it kind of peters out near the end, but it's a pretty good show for about the first 4 or 5 seasons. Oh, Joey, why?
Joey.
Well, that's one of the risks you run when you eat a gun. You know, that can happen. That's good.
I love how he enunciates rutting. Oh, here we go.
Oh, he's having another one of his episodes.
I told him to sit down.
So I drugged him.
We're all like, "Yay, Simon!" Can we all have some of it?
Just a little.
Shiny. Ooh. Someone respectable. Of course. Oh.
You're welcome. Look, we can't cross the moral event horizon, okay?
He's always in a killing mood. Oh, you know you like it, Mal.
How's it going? 3, 2, 1, pause. We are at 36:51 in, 6 minutes 30 seconds remaining. So,
Oh,
I love that twist. The twist with it turns out they stole medical supplies. I love that so much.
didn't see that one coming.
I didn't, but then when the other shoe dropped, I was like, oh, of course.
I mean,
You
some
know,
of it's based on where we're at in the episode. It's too early for them to finish the job
right.
successfully.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know something's going to go wrong.
But you didn't know what specifically it was
Right.
going to be.
But and I love that because yeah, you could easily write this episode where there's like a hitch in the job where some unexpected complication arises and it's more difficult for them to get the cargo. But in this, it's like, no, actually the actual job goes off more or less without a hitch. And then it's just like, oh shit, we stole something we shouldn't have
we're
stolen.
bad people.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that. I love that. And I feel like earlier when we were talking about Mal's jerkassery, I feel like his character needs something like this to remind us that he's not actually a horrible person, that even though he's an asshole, that he does have a conscience and, he is at least capable of doing the right thing.
He's not Niska.
No, which is an important distinction. You shouldn't have a hero who's exactly like the villain.
Although there are some stories that do that.
That's true. You can do it, I suppose.
Yeah, save the cat versus kick the dog.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and of course, for me, growing up in central Pennsylvania, having it be medicine for minors, just mine town.
Yeah. And again, that just, we keep coming back to the tropes of the Western.
Yes.
I mean, not just the train robbery, but it's like medicine is a major commodity, and the fact that it's for working people, for miners, and it's just it's all really good. It's all really good.
Just another broke nerd. It's like in another Alan Tudyk movie, not Candy Crush. What's the one with Wreck-It Ralph? Yeah, just because you're a bad guy, that does not mean you have to be bad guy. But you haven't seen.
I have not seen that, no, because
man, I just I feel so out of place here. Like you guys make all your Star Trek references, which I don't get.
Well, no, but it's fair though. It's fair because I make Star Trek references that you don't get, and you make Disney references that I don't get.
Yeah, we're working on this. We're
working on it. I mean, is Wreck-It Ralph on the list? I think it is, isn't it? If it's not, maybe it's not. I don't know.
It's not gratuitous. It totally fits in. And in fact, there's even the Russian accent.
So there, it fits perfectly. Completely on point for this episode.
Wreck-It Ralph is just fun.
It's
got Alan Tudyk.
My desire to be a John C. Reilly completist will push me to see it eventually.
And Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, I like Alan Tudyk, but I don't hold Alan Tudyk in as high esteem as I hold John C. Reilly. So there's that.
I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, it's fine if you do, but I don't.
I don't know that I've heard Alan Tudyk sing.
I'm sure he can. He can do anything. He can do anything. But
he went to Juilliard.
Yeah.
I've shown you that clip, right?
Yes.
It's just one of my favorite things.
Yeah. So yeah, I like the twist, and I like sort of putting the heroes in that moral quandary.
Slap Mal across the damn face.
Yes.
That was nice. And then of course Zoe. What would your husband say? What would your husband say? I was weak. And he said, oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's even more of that, the interplay, the romance between Zoe and the captain. It comes along again later.
Joe makes a good point. If I want to be a true John C. Reilly completist, I will eventually have to watch his Sherlock Holmes movie with Will Ferrell, which I heard is just absolutely abysmal. So maybe I won't be a John C. Reilly completist after all.
So, anything else?
No, not that I can think of. No, you want to?
I do like that
yeah.
they mentioned that they checked Nara's references.
Yes.
Just carefully.
They got their shit together. All right, everybody get ready. We're going to get back into it. Once again, we are at 36:51 in 6 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. And we are going to resume in 3, 2, 1, play.
Still hot. Hot.
See.
Oh, no, bad for you.
No.
That's rude. It's just rude. Opinion no one cares about. In Soviet Union, deal breaks you.
Or at least stabs you a few times.
It's God. We're getting all the old school Soviet references. Some random geek with "if he dies, he dies." That's great.
I like food. And I need a canopy. Oh. No. It's okay. He's incapacitated. I can't get an eating utensil yet. I was aiming for his head. That is a classic one.
Jane went to the dentist today.
Yes, Harry, I do not like it. I disapprove strongly.
Oh, hi.
Oh.
I noticed the sheriff's not helping to carry any of it.
Well, he's going to get like the barge.
Oh, sure. Okay. Ooh. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who's next? Oh, that's great. That is so great.
I'm taking notes. He's like, I've been wanting to do that for some time. Perfectly cogent.
Here's her headshot. Oh, 2x2 hands of blue. Oh my God.
Done.
All right, we can stop. So there we have episode 2 of Firefly
We do.
in the books, as it were. So you were taking notes. What were you making a note to make sure we talk about?
So the second thug. Did you notice? What did you notice about the second thug?
He was very cooperative.
Yes.
he was obviously paying attention to what happened to the first dude.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing jumps immediately to mind. I'm sure when you tell me, I'll feel like a doofus for not noticing whatever it is. But no,
Did you notice his accent?
he didn't really have one.
I
Or
know.
well, he had like an American accent, didn't he? Like,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, everybody
And
has
he's the
one.
one who is reasonable and not obsessive.
That's true. Just like Americans. Just like all of us Americans, we're reasonable. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, but that whole scene is just wonderful. I love that. I love that so
He's
much.
so dramatic, and then Mal just kicks him into the engine exhaust.
Yeah. Oh, and here's what I love about that is like that could have been the punchline of the scene, because that's a great punchline to the scene. Is the guy makes the big villain threat,
Mm-hmm.
and Mal, again, it subverts maybe an expectation that you have, where it's like, well, that's a setup for something later. And it's like, no, Mal just kicks him into the engine and he's dead. And that's a good enough note to end that scene on. But then they go into that bit where he starts going through the exact same spiel with the next guy. And he's like, no, I agree. Totally. I love that. That was so good.
So when you say a setup, what do you mean?
I'm sure that it's like they didn't do a job that they promised to do for Niska, so I'm sure that'll come back at some point. But the idea, just basically that, what his name, Crow, that guy saying like, I will hunt you down, and I will, the last thing you see will be my blade. And it's like that there's some kind setting up like a confrontation between the two of them later on. Like he'll let him go, but their paths will cross in the future. And nope.
Their paths are crossed.
His path is at its end. Ended. There is no path for him anymore. He's done. So I thought that was great. And I mean, it was well executed. I don't think there's not a lot.
Good execution, wasn't it?
It was a good execution, but like the story was well executed. It's not a surprise that they did what they did, because even though they are a lot more rough around the edges,
Opinions no one cares about. Have you seen All Dogs Go to Heaven? Please tell me that it's a reference to his watch has stopped.
His watch has ended.
I really hope that's an All Dogs reference, but maybe not.
But yeah, it's Joe McClory says his path is as a light mist on the breeze.
It's kind of a dark
we
red mist.
we didn't we there was no shot of the other end of the engine where like he got spit out like when they fed Steve Buscemi into the wood chipper in Fargo. You know, you don't see what comes out the other end. He just gets sucked in.
I'm bummed. Opinions no one cares about. Yeah, Game of Thrones is not nearly as cool as All Dogs Go to Heaven. With the tick tock, tick tock, tick.
I haven't seen All Dogs Go to Heaven either, but I feel like I agree with you. I don't think, I mean, you'd have to pay me to watch Game of Thrones. I'm just.
Oh, I don't know if I have All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Oh, I'm sure we can find it somewhere. I'm sure if you want to watch it, I'm sure we can find it somewhere. But I would much rather watch All Dogs Go to Heaven than watch like 5 minutes of Game of Thrones. It just seems like the most boring fucking bullshit I could.
I know it from memes and discussion. That's really interesting. Darryl Trekkie, because that's of course not actually a Firefly reference, but it could be. It could be. River and the Doctor, very, very different characters in Firefly.
Normative in the chat makes a good point. Says there's a bit of Nathan Drake with Mal where he's funny and charming, and it somehow makes you not really sweat the amount of murder he does. That is, but I think really
his murders are justified.
Well, but I do think he's right though. The fact that he does have the personality that he does, and that the killing of Crow in that way is done with comic timing. It definitely, you don't watch, at least I don't, you don't watch it and think like, oh, wow, the hero just straight up murdered somebody. You know, like the guy he was tied up. Yeah, he was threatening him and he posed a danger to him in the future. Yeah. But at that moment, he was tied up and helpless.
And his crew.
Yeah. But at that moment, he was tied up and helpless, and he kicked him into a jet engine and killed him. But it doesn't bother me at all. Like, I'm not
but at the same time, I mean, yes, Mal's the one who does it. But I mean, I don't think, obviously Jane wouldn't have, but we're not supposed to think, well, Jane, but Zoe wouldn't have. So I've been like, oh, Zoe would have just shot him, you know.
She still would have killed him. Just not so gruesomely.
She doesn't, well, not so gruesomely, but she's not up for Mal's theatrics. I mean, that was, a very showy way of killing him.
Yeah, you didn't have to kick him into an engine, Mal.
It is nice in terms of like taking care of it gives them a little bit more leeway, headway in. Thank you. In a minute. Do I have knife and fork? It gives them a little bit more play in not having to dispose of the body, because it's just.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And then the other thing that I took notes on was the sheriff's speech. What did you notice about the sheriff's speech?
What about how times are tough and sometimes people could take a job that they don't. You know.
That is not what he said.
What did he say? What did he say specifically? I can't remember.
He said, a man might take a job. And I think, but yes, you're absolutely right. He said, somebody could take a job, but he doesn't. It's a man-to-man talk.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that just jumps right out at me like, okay, Joss, get over your damn self.
Well, and that's, I mean, I think it's fair to point that out, but it's not just Joss Whedon. I mean, like you as an English teacher probably know better than I, like the default gendering of things.
That's not default though. There's no such thing as default.
Well, but in terms of common usage. In terms of common usage, it was regular practice for a lot of people. It still is that if you're talking about a generic person, you refer to them by the male gender, and I don't think that that's right. I think it's better to use gender neutral terms when you do that. But that was common practice.
That when you talk about, especially given the pacing of that, a person might take a job, or folks might take a job. Folks, I would use. I love
Okay,
folks.
but I'm just saying.
I'm saying yes, it is a choice made by the writer, and I don't think it may not have been. It may not have been a deliberate choice. I think it was, because I think it is supposed to be a man-to-man talk.
Perhaps, but you know,
if it's not a deliberate choice, it's a choice that shows the writer's biases.
oh, definitely, I agree with you. But I mean, those are biases that are broadly shared by many writers. So it's not necessarily. It is a bias of Whedon, but it's not necessarily specific to Whedon. It's more of a cultural thing.
Not as fond of critters. I think that's
a critter might take a job and not realize what a critter's getting himself into.
So Darrell Trekkie, this is stuff that we had. We noticed that we had some, or I noticed that we had some extra asparagus in the fridge from another recipe that my husband had made. And I was like, and there's also bacon. So the snack, the dinner is going to be jambalaya, but the snack is, and also bacon wrapped asparagus. And it's so good. It's nice. And Steve can't have any because it's vegetarian. It's not cheat day. I could also you're hundreds of miles away.
And I can't have. I wouldn't want to eat your bacon wrapped asparagus. That's yours. I wouldn't want to take food off your plate.
I have a knife.
So it's settled. Morningstar Farms makes an excellent vegetarian bacon, by the way. I might try that. I've never actually had it wrapped around asparagus, but I mean, I'm sure it would be good.
Mm-hmm. They're ultra tricky. I don't know. It's good stuff. Suddenly, Steve. Yes, I love that.
Yeah,
I will say, I am
Mankind.
I'm an enormous fan of Mankind. He's great.
That bump he took off the Hell in a Cell in '98, it was fantastic.
Have you read his memoir?
I have not. Good. Surprisingly, as a huge wrestling fan, I don't think I have ever read a single wrestling memoir, including Mick Foley's.
That one, and it's true. Both of them are just so readable. Yeah. And also, of course, even like just in their personas and the way they portray their characters, they strike me as just, there are a lot of wrestlers that just strike me as just really interesting, fun, just fun guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Foley, especially. I think Foley's a good guy.
And then, of course, I was so sad when they broke up, Edge and Christian.
They were a hell of a tag team.
Tiger beat, here we come.
Yes. The 5-second pose with the thumbs in, the thumbs on top.
Some random geek, that makes perfect sense. I think critters for furries, that's perfectly reasonable. And this was the Edge, so it came unwrapped, but hold on,
Just Another Broke Nerd says, what are our thoughts on this being the aired pilot? Here's the thing. It feels, I don't think it's a good idea, just because clearly these episodes were made with the intention that they be watched in a particular order. Like the actual pilot, the one that we watched first, is obviously meant to be the introduction to the show.
Okay, so
yeah,
what makes you say that?
Because it's where we meet. It's where Simon and River come on the ship. It's where Book comes on the ship. It has
chronologically, yes, it happens first.
Now, back in the day, for instance, the first episode of the original Star Trek that aired on TV was not the pilot. It was actually, I think, the third episode produced, but the Man Trap. But they decided to show that one first because they thought that was the best episode of the ones that they had finished, and they wanted to get a really strong start. Yeah. So maybe the justification for showing the train job first was they said, well, of the episodes we have, this is the best episode. So let's start with the best episode so people will see the show at its best and they'll be hooked for that reason. And that's fine logic, but it's obvious that the episodes are being shown out of order because the way the show is written,
Yeah.
it makes more sense if you watch them. And I know it's the original Star Trek and most other shows up until the 90s were not really like that. Like it didn't matter what order you watch the episodes in because everything started over at the beginning of the next episode anyway. But with
Yeah.
Firefly, it's not written that way.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah, that's the big one. But I
yeah,
also think it goes beyond that. I mean, obviously, yes, and in the chat, people have mentioned River being a surprise and
right.
Simon not being the bad guy. And
Yeah.
but I also think patience is key. Because patience in the pilot, I mean, you've got Dobson who's, selling them out, but he's not a villain like Niska is.
Right.
And I think that more effectively sets the tone for the series than the train job, where you have Niska, bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Harry, did it have more than one season? I didn't watch much of it, honestly.
And I never watched it.
It went into blah de blah territory. I'm just like, yeah, no thanks. It went maybe, I think I got through maybe half a season of it before I'm just like, I'm very impatient when it comes to television. I sequential narratives in general. I'm just like, okay,
yeah,
I'm all done now.
I do think the train job functions well enough as a pilot. I mean, it doesn't feel like a pilot, but as a first episode, I think it works. But the problem is that they had a proper pilot.
Yeah, just another broken nerd. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Corey. Yeah, I just there were. I just felt tired of Joss's nonsense at All House. It's like he kept trying to go with like more complications. More complications don't confuse complication with complexity.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah. Some random geek asks how much anime do I watch and adds there's a lot of meh anime. Well, there's whose law is it? Somebody's law. 90% of everything is crap.
Yeah. There's a lot of meh everything. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And there really is. I think the first anime that I watched that introduced me, there was stuff like just sort of, cartoons growing up, like Voltron. But the first like movie length one that I watched was Akira. And the first one that I got to see in a theater was Princess Mononoke. And it's Lady Eboshi is one of my favorite characters all time. I just so so much her own person, and I love that. Just a really, really intriguing, layered, complex, and not really all that complicated character. I mean, she has this is her thing that she's doing. I love Lady Eboshi. Sturgeon's Law. Thank you, Matthew.
Yes, that's what
90% of everything is crap, and it is. So, other thoughts, predictions. Obviously, we have some setup for the future.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the guys with the blue gloves are going to show up again, and it's nice.
So?
Wouldn't it be hilarious if that was just never mentioned again? Like it's like this big dramatic like cliffhanger ending of like, oh, and then they're never mentioned again. I feel like they're drawing out the sort of the mystery of what the deal is with River well enough so far. I feel like if they drag it out too much longer, I'm going to lose patience with it, but we're 2 episodes in. So like, I feel like that's a good, just let it dangle a little bit at the end of the pilot. And then, she's sort of sprinkled in this episode here and there. And then it feels like it's starting to really come to a head at the very end of the episode. I feel like that's a good, it's been simmering for 2 episodes and now it's finally starting
for 2 episodes.
But
So
but I mean, yeah, like I said, I feel like if they drag it out too long, I'm just not gonna care. I'm gonna be like, all right, just do something with it. You know what I mean? Like it's been, you've been sort of stringing it along to, I just like, you know,
uh,
or develop it in some way. I mean, they can't just
yeah,
have her just
yes.
hang out on the ship and be like, oh, she's not quite herself, and it's like 3 or 4 episodes of
Yes,
that. It's like, oh
fair enough.
God,
Because I'm
you
like,
know.
do you object to like season long plots all of a sudden?
No,
Because
not at all, not at all.
yeah, but
But
there has to be development of
there
it. It
has to
can't
be
be
there has to be
the same
development.
thing, the same thing, the same thing, and
Yeah.
then like the end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like
that's fair.
that's been one of my problems. As much as I have enjoyed them, that's been one of my problems with the current generation of Star Trek shows. Is that I feel like they tease things out way too long, and then
Yeah,
when they finally get to the payoff, it's like in the last episode of the season, and it's like, oh, that was it. Like you feel cheated no matter what the resolution is because they've made you wait for it so long. And it's like, oh, that was it. Okay, I
I hate
guess that's
I
fine.
hate waiting.
Yeah, I hate waiting.
Um, I don't think it's all about River. I think all of the characters do get development. Some change more than others, and of course, we just didn't have that much. There's not there's not. Steve, do you have a favorite member of the crew so far?
Not really.
Kind of like them all about equal.
I like them all about equal. I mean, yeah, they've like, I've liked a couple of moments with Wash, but I wouldn't say he's like standing out as my favorite. Like just because the same thing with Mal. Like I've enjoyed some of Mal's punchlines, and some of the interaction between the crew, but nobody stands out as like, oh yeah, that's my favorite character.
Waldo says that Wash is the best.
Wash is the
I like Wash a lot, and I love the dynamic between Wash and Zoe. I
Mhm.
really, really do. Of course, even thinking back to Zoe fits in with some of Whedon's earlier characters in that sometimes we're laconic.
Yeah, yeah.
Jim McClory asks, "Are we going to watch the movie to get closure?" That is the plan.
Yeah,
It'll be pilot. We'll split that up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, we're gonna watch the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, Charles, I like Kaylee a lot. She's just a little peach, but I think Wash and Zoe are my faves.
Yeah, and suddenly Steve asks, any characters you don't really like? Not really, not so far. I mean, like I said, we're only 2 episodes in, and I'm enjoying the show. I really liked this episode we just watched, and but no, and any characters that I don't, I like. Well, like you said, Dana, I pretty much like everybody equally at this point. Nobody's really pulling ahead and oh yeah, that's my favorite character, but nobody's falling behind either.
The John says the film I could see as an argument for being basically centered around River, but I think, and if I'm going to try to do this without being as spoilery as possible, I think the film has more to do with the Alliance, and River is the one, because of her past and because the Alliance wants her. She's the connection to the Alliance, so it's kind of all about that.
Yeah. I just before we go any further, I do want to call your attention to the time.
7:34. Yeah, Normative, you're absolutely right. And I also, Normative, if you're familiar with later on, just watching this through early on, some of his insecurities his apparent insecurities don't play out very well. They're not consistent with how he is developed later on, I think. They're ultra tricky, totally Zosh.
Yeah, Wowie isn't really a good ship name.
No, Waldo Dollhouse is not going to be the next show also, I don't know. Well, I will say I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but that doesn't matter to me because I'm not interested in watching it.
Yeah, I'm not interested in watching it either.
We do have a plan for what's going to happen afterwards, but
after we get through
Firefly and Serenity. But we're still kind of working on how that's going to play out. You have some editing to do.
I do, but I think we do have a general idea of what we're going to do on the non-Deep Space 9 weeks going forward. But we're still a good ways off from that. We still need to get through you know,
Nope.
we have a lot
Trekkie?
more.
Oh God, no. It's not
NCIS?
No, 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 no,
I mean,
no.
I have never watched it, so it would qualify from. I don't know if have you ever watched
Yep.
NCIS, Dana? Yeah,
Yes. I hate Tony. Tony needs to
okay.
die. They need to pull a Cordelia Chase. Bring him back to kill him off. Maybe I'll write some fanfic in which he dies before he's ever born.
No, Philip, it wouldn't be Babylon 5 because I've seen Babylon 5. If we replaced Firefly with another show, it would have to be a show that I had not seen, so that it would be we watch Deep Space Nine, which Dana hasn't seen, and we watch something else that I haven't seen. So I've seen Babylon 5. Yeah, that Dana has seen. So there's
something in the works for that. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, we have an idea. Oh. But and also honestly, like, I mean, I know this is a lot of people aren't going to like to hear this. I watched Babylon 5 when it was originally on, and I liked it, but I'm not. I mean, I could go without watching it again. Like, I don't feel like a need to watch it again. I felt like it was good, but it hasn't been calling to me all these years.
I have seen some Blacklist. It's all right. I think the idea that we have is going to be even better.
Me too.
They have no idea what's coming up, and I'm just like I'm enjoying this a lot, but at the same time I'm just like,
let's get through.
I want to drop this on them. I want to. Once you announce that, man, they got no clue.
It's not Andromeda. It's not Farscape. No, nobody's even close. Nobody's even close.
No, you are not going to get it.
Yeah, you won't be able to guess it. It's different. It's different enough that you're not going to get it.
Oh, Terry, thank you. He said my maniacal laugh is a little bit disturbing. That's awesome. Don't forget, Corey, if you haven't watched the Ensign's log, I do a maniacal laugh when I get to play Lenore.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh gosh, I love Lenore.
Oh, and speaking of the Ensign's log, the new episode goes up on Friday, and you get. I'll just throw out this little tidbit. You play the character of the ship's therapist in that episode.
Uh-huh.
You play Dr. McKenna, who we have mentioned on the show a couple of times, but has never actually made an appearance. So,
Random Geek and Philip mentioned Revolutionary Girl Utena. Guys, let me just tell you, I had the biggest crush on Toga Kiryu when I was younger. Ooh. Oh, that long red hair. Now, in fairness, maybe it wasn't so much a crush. Maybe it was just envy for the long hair, But man, he could toss that hair, and it just sort of fell in front of his face, and you could see his face behind his hair. And yeah.
And by the way, they're all to Trekkie. Yes, Dr. McKenna was a character on Star Trek Continues, the fan series, but our version of her is very different. So don't expect it to be the same Dr. McKenna as was on the other fan series.
Probably not remotely.
No, very different, but wonderful. Really, really good.
Harry, also the elephants. Oh my God, the elephants. Oh, I don't know. She seems, I don't know. All right. So that's all I got.
Yeah, I think we're good. So this was no, not Cowboy. We're not watching. You're not going to guess what the next thing is. You're not going to
promise you.
And also,
what we'll watch next.
And also, Cowboy Bebop doesn't qualify because I've seen it.
Ah, fair enough.
I love it. It's one of my. We watched that together back in the day. I love Cowboy Bebop. But yeah. So anyway, we will be back next week to watch the next episode of Deep Space Nine, which is A Man Alone. And I will be back on Friday of this week, day after tomorrow, for Ask Away. So if you are a patron and you haven't submitted your Ask Away question yet, you have a couple of days left to do that. And then Monday, if I get it edited over the weekend, which I think I will, Monday we have another Batman video coming out, the two of us. Which is about Batman and the police, which is going to be pretty cool, I think, and is a really interesting topic. And then also Monday night, I have the next conversation stream, and the guest will be Ebony Adams of Feminist Frequency. It's sort of a Feminist Frequency 1-2 punch, because this week I had Anita on, and on Monday I'll have Ebony on, and it'll be cool to talk to Ebony, because she and I always have a lot of fun when she is on the Star Trek podcast when I guest on it. She hasn't been on it when I've been on it this year, but she's a fellow Deep Space Nine fan, so we have that in common. We have that bond, and
that means I might not be able to watch it because spoilers.
oh, I'll make sure not to spoil anything too much.
Okay. Charles asks if it's a bunch of Disney movies. There are Disney movies in the future,
but that's not quite it.
Yeah. Serenity. That it is not
no
a Disney movie.
No.
I'm so excited.
That's right. Oh yeah. It's not a Disney movie. The next one is not but no. So anyway, that's what's coming up. And then Friday next week, of course, is the next chapter of The Dispossessed.
Yes.
So we have that's the lineup. So yeah, this was fun. Shall we call the festivities to a close?
Alas.
Alas. We must take our leave.
But it'll give us something to look forward to for the next time.
Absolutely.
Until the next time, everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.